Okay, we might have some controversy for us folks right here. So, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTB Sports, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. They take Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final in overtime by a score of 5-4, and they take a commanding 3-1 series lead, and they have a chance to clinch the Stanley Cup tomorrow for Game 5 on Saturday night. So, like I said, there's a possible controversial call right here, folks. Especially in that overtime. That penalty to Jamie Benn, was it tripping? Who knows? I don't believe it. I don't believe that was a trip. But the ref called it. The ref definitely called it. And Tampa Bay took advantage of it as Kevin Shattenkirk gets the overtime winner. And it helps Tampa Bay take a 3-1 series lead. So like I said, Dallas, they're like I said, it's a controversial call right there. And Dallas has it in for their money right now. Down 3-1 in the Stanley Cup Final. That's definitely not an easy feat to overcome. There have been many teams this year in the Stanley Cups that have been able to overcome a 3-1 series deficit, but never were able to actually close out the series, especially in that second round. So, Colorado against Dallas, they came back from a 3-1 series deficit. Dallas was able to close it out. In the Vegas-Vancouver series, Vegas was able to close out Game 7 after Vancouver forced one, and the same thing for the Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers forced a Game 7, and the Islanders took care of business in Game 7, shutting the Flyers out. So with this it's going to be some tight water right here for Dallas, being down 3-1 in the series. And Tampa Bay, and honestly for this game as a whole, it was a very entertaining game. Back and forth, teams scoring left and right. It's one of those games that's must-watch television. And like the Stanley Cup Finals is must-watch television in general, but especially this game right here. This game had action, it had goal scoring, and it had some timely saves, some great saves in fact. That save by Andrei Vasilevskiy in the second period on that chance for Alexander Radulov, whoo! That was a nice save right there. And maybe Anton Khudobin, I would say in this game, didn't put on his strongest performance. I would say that goal in the third period by Killorn, it was kind of weak in my opinion, and I'll get to that in a little bit. I just definitely believed that it was a weak goal for Khudobin to give up. But just going over this game in general, to start off, it was mainly Tampa Bay. Dallas did not have a shot through the first 5-7 minutes in this period. And the funny thing too is, Dallas comes up the ice. John Klingberg has the puck in the offensive zone. He's pushing. He tries to take the initial shot. Gets blocked in front of him, but the puck bounces right back onto his stick. And then he takes that secondary shot, and it goes right by Vasilevskiy. And Dallas suddenly has a 1-0 lead on their first shot of the game. Their first shot of the game. And there are a couple of, I would say not in this period, there were a couple of power plays. There was one power play to Tampa Bay. That was in a little bit of the late stages of this first period, but Tampa Bay does not manage to score on that power play. A couple of chances still going back and forth, but then we go into the late stages of this period with around a minute and a half left, and Dallas gets a great chance right here, and it's Jamie Benn, Alexander Radulov. You got Joe Pavelski coming in on the right side. Benn finds Pavelski, puts it behind Vasilevskiy, and Dallas goes up 2-0 in the closing stages of the first period. But hey, we're not done the first period right now, because you know what? Tampa Bay responds directly right after this goal. And it's with around almost 30 seconds left in this period. And this is definitely not a goal that you want to give up if you're Dallas, because one, it's a late goal. You don't want to give up late goals regardless, but it's literally directly after you score a goal. I would say a little bit under a minute. Under a minute, Tampa Bay responds. And this is a nice pass by Palat, and it springs Brayden Point. He uses that speed, and he manages to put it behind Khudobin, and he makes it 2-1 Dallas going into the end of the first period, into the first intermission, and that's definitely right there. Dallas had the momentum. They had the game in their hand in that first period, and they let Tampa Bay get that one big play, that crucial play, at the end of the first period, and it's suddenly a 2-1 hockey game, and now Tampa Bay is riding the momentum into the next period, and that continues as Dallas takes a very early penalty. Jamie Oleksiak takes a tripping call early in this period, and Tampa Bay, what do? They cash in on the power play. It's Brayden Point once again using his perfect hand-eye coordination. You got Killorn behind the net. flipping one in front. It takes a couple of bounces, and you get Brayden Point when the puck flying in the air, just batting the puck down, and it bounces past Hudobin, and it's a 2-2 game right here. It's getting pretty exciting here, folks. Getting pretty exciting. There's a power play midway through this period, but before we go to that power play, it's Corey Perry right here making it 3-2 Dallas. You got Tyler Seguin driving the net. He goes a little bit behind the net. He manages to get the puck through Vasilevsky into the blue paint, and you get Corey Perry driving the net. He doesn't get the initial touch on the puck because he's got someone back checking behind him, but he gets enough wood in order to put the puck into the net, and it's a 3-2 Dallas lead right here. Dallas does go on to a power play right here. They can't get anything going, and then Dallas once again untimely penalties. They take one late in this second period, and it allows Tampa Bay to tie the game. A little bit of bouncing in front. Kucherov actually, he takes the initial shot from the right side. It hits someone in front. It goes into the slot, and you got Yanni Gourde finding a loose puck, and he buries it into the open net by Hudobin, and it's a 3-3 game going in to the third period. And like I said, it all goes back to that first period. Dallas goes up 2-0, and they get that second goal late in the first period. And then they allowed Tampa Bay to immediately respond. That just gave Tampa Bay so much momentum. And now Dallas, they're doing the same thing as they've been doing in the past previous games. They're getting untimely penalties, and not good penalties by that fact. Not good penalties whatsoever. And Tampa Bay, they are cashing in on their power plays in this game. And that becomes crucial going into the overtime, like I said. And we go into the third period. This is a little bit over 5 minutes in, a little bit like 6 minutes into this period. You got the second line out there for Tampa Bay doing their job for checking into the Dallas zone. You get Alex Killorn circling the net from behind, goes around to the right side, and then he just fires a puck onto the net. He goes a little bit into the right circle, fires it, goes by Hudobin, and Tampa Bay goes up 4-3. And this goal right here, allowed by Hudobin, like I said earlier, I believe this was a very weak goal that you can give up, because if you look on the replay of the goal, you see Hudobin is prepared for Killorn coming around the net. He's hugging the post as a goaltender should do, but then he should also realize that Killorn's coming out further than honestly anticipated. He goes further into the right circle, and Hudobin is still hugging the post, not getting up whatsoever. He's staying down, and it leaves that top side of the net wide open for Killorn to just fire the puck in there. And that's how Tampa Bay goes up 4-3. And then we go into halfway into this period. Dallas is starting to push once again. And like I said in that second period, the one thing that I forgot to mention, before that Tampa Bay goal, which allowed them to tie the game late into the second period, Alexander Radulov had a crystal clear chance to put a puck into an empty net. But Andrei Vasilevsky made this glorious save. He got down in a span of like a millisecond to stop this puck. It was right in the crease, right on Radulov's stick, and he somehow gets down and stops this puck. Andrei Vasilevsky, what the hell, man? What the hell? What the hell is that? How quickly did you manage to get down to do that? But I digress. It was a great save right there. So halfway into the third period, like I said, Dallas, they're doing their thing in the offensive zone, and it's Joe Pavelski. He was a beast in this game for Dallas, a beast in this game, and he gets his second goal of the game as he circles the net, goes around it. He fires the puck onto the net, and it bounces in off Kevin Shattenkirk, and Dallas ties the game 4 goals apiece. And we got a tie game, and I'm thinking to myself right here, ooh, do we possibly have ourselves a finals overtime game? Because overtimes in the Stanley Cup Finals, they're probably some of the best playoff overtimes, just because it's the final round. And it's like, and especially in this game, goes to overtime. Dallas has a chance to tie the series. Tampa Bay wins. They go up 3-1, and they're 1 game away from clinching the Stanley Cup. So it was going to be exciting regardless. But then we go into the later stages of the third period, and this is where it gets very questionable, especially with the penalty calls right here. So Tampa Bay late in this period, they're looking like they're going to get a 2-on-1. Kucherov is on the right side of the ice. He's bringing the puck into the zone. Brayden Point's trying to trail him, trying to get that 2-on-run right there. But then you got Corey Perry, kind of spearing Brayden Point right here. He gets the puck in between the legs. Brayden Point goes down, but the ref calls both of them for penalties. Corey Perry for, I think it was tripping or interference. And then you get Brayden Point going into the box for embellishment. It's a very questionable call right there. Embellishment? What was Brayden Point doing there? He literally got a stick in between the legs. What's the guy going to do? He's going to fall. If you're getting a stick in between the legs and it hits your nutsack, you're going to fall right there. It's just like, what is that call right by the refs? The refs in this game especially were not that good. Especially late in this game. Because it kind of makes it lucky right there for Dallas, because Tampa Bay does not go on the power play, and it's unlucky for Tampa Bay in that situation because they don't get to go on the power play late in that period. And that 4-on-4 does carry over into the overtime, but the Tampa Bay Lightning, they get a few scary chances on this 4-on-4, especially late. They're on the left circle, takes a shot, saved by Hudobin. They weren't able to get some pucks onto the net right there. And we go into the overtime intermission, and it's a tie game. It's just like, that call right there, it still boggles my mind. It still boggles my mind to this day. It's just like, embellishment? What? And then we go into the overtime in Dallas on the 4-on-4. Tyler Seguin. Where was this the entire series? Tyler? He almost gets a breakaway. He tries to get the puck on the left side, but you see Sergachev putting the left arm around him, and Sergachev gets the hold penalty. But the question mark right here was, why wouldn't Dallas allow Tampa Bay to touch the puck earlier? Because it was a 4-on-4 in that situation with more than a minute and a half left. If Tampa Bay touches the puck, you got a lot of time on the 4-on-3. But then Tampa Bay eventually did touch it, and they got around, I think 50 seconds of 4-on-3 ice time. And Dallas, they had their chances. They definitely did. Many chances. Sometimes there are a little bit of chances where they were holding the puck way too long. They were getting shots onto the net, but Tampa Bay, give credit to them, they did a perfectly good penalty kill right there. Kill off the 4-on-3, then it turns into a 5-on-4. They kill it off. And then with around, I would say, the 5-minute mark, the 6-minute mark at this point. So we get Dallas trying to push into the offensive zone, and then it's the call of the year right here. The call, this is bad. When I was looking at the replays of this game, especially on that call, it was just like, what? It was just like, what? So it's Jamie Benn and Tyler Johnson. They're battling in the neutral zone. They're trying to push for the puck. And then Tyler Johnson falls. And then a penalty is called on Jamie Benn for tripping. And then you can see when the announcers were talking during that play that it was the ref that was trailing credit right here. The ref made the call was the one that was behind the play, not the one that was in front of the play. And the ref basically barked out Jamie Benn saying that you took out his legs and you tripped him. But as you can see on the replay, Ben does not do that whatsoever. He does not take out his feet. Tyler Johnson just honestly falls. Jamie Benn's making a hockey play right here. They're just trying to battle to get to the puck, and Ben makes a hockey play. There's no trip. He's not taking out his feet right there. There's nothing to it. But then Tampa Bay, they go on that penalty. They go on that power play, and you know what? They cash in. They do. Victor Hedman fakes a shot from the point, and he hands it over to Kevin Shattenkirk in the right side, and he rips it. Goes by Hudobin. And Tampa Bay takes this game 5-4, and they have a chance to clinch the Stanley Cup tomorrow. Game 5, Saturday night. Controversial call right there. Very controversial call. Like I said, with the Corey Perry, Brayden Point situation, that was not embellishment. And for this penalty call right here, that was not a trip. That was nowhere in hell a tripping call. So Dallas, yeah, I can understand why you would be mad at this point, because that was a terrible call right there. Just a terrible, terrible call. But then, the other situation goes to, maybe you should have scored on your 4-on-3. Maybe you should have scored on the power play that you got early on in the overtime. That situation doesn't happen. That's the bad parts right there, because maybe it's a makeup. I don't want to say it's a makeup call because of that terrible call at the end of the period for that point embellishment. But they can't be doing this. You can't be doing a bad call make up for a bad call. It's just, that shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening in general. Bad calls should not be happening in general. That Perry penalty should have been just Corey Perry. There shouldn't have been a penalty on Jamie Benn right here either. It just shouldn't have happened. But in Dallas, I understand, fans, I understand that you are probably very pissed. Because now you're down 3-1 in this series, and now you got to find your way to trail back in this series. It's going to be very difficult, and it's going to be very interesting. Can Tampa Bay close out the series tomorrow, or will Dallas find a way to force a Game 6? And it's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be very tough. You got in the second period, Rube Hintz, he gets tied up with Tyler Johnson, goes into a little bit of a collapse into the boards, and Rube Hintz is down, goes to the locker room, and doesn't return to the game. You also don't have Stamkos for Tampa Bay either. He came back in last game, only played for 3 minutes. He scored the goal, but maybe he got hurt on that celebration a little bit, and he was scratched for this game. So there's some key pieces on both teams being injured. But Stamkos right now, even though Tampa Bay has been playing without Stamkos basically the entire playoffs, so honestly at this point I would say they're used to it. But Dallas, that's Rube Hintz has been a very important player for this team, especially in this playoff run. So that's definitely a big loss right there. So I would assume he's not going to be out for a while. Radulov, he took that scary hit in last game. He came back for this game. So I would expect Rube Hintz to be back for Game 5. He's just not going to miss it. It's players in the Stanley Cup Finals, they're going to play for injury. They're going to play for the bumps and bruises. They're just going to, because they want to win the cup. And that's what's going to happen right there probably. I expect Hintz to be back in next game. But that's going to be the question mark right here. Can Dallas force a Game 6? Can Tampa Bay hoist the cup tomorrow? We'll just have to find out. It's going to be very exciting. This has been a very exciting Stanley Cup Final. This game especially, very exciting. Goals back and forth. Timely saves. Overtime. What more can you ask in playoff hockey? Just what more? So, what are your thoughts on this video? What are your thoughts on this Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals? You think there was controversial calls? Do you think that Jamie Benn penalty should not have been called? Or do you think it was justified? The whole penalty situation with Perry and Brayden Point. And what are your thoughts on the game overall? I want to hear your comments, so don't forget to leave them down in the comments section. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time.